Code leverage. Imagine writing a set of instructions once and having machines execute those instructions perfectly every single time without getting tired or making mistakes. This is the power of code leverage, where you turn manual processes into automated systems that scale infinitely without additional human effort. Code leverage works by capturing your knowledge and decision-making processes into software that can operate independently, whether that's a simple email automation that nurtures leads while you sleep, an AI chatbot that handles customer service inquiries, or complex integrations that sync data between multiple platforms automatically. The goal is always the same. Do the thinking once and let technology handle the repetitive execution forever. The beautiful thing about code leverage today is that you don't need to be a programmer to access it. There are no code platforms like Webflow for designing and launching websites. Zapier and Airtable for building sophisticated workflow automations using simple drag-and-drop interfaces. You can set up systems that automatically sort your emails, update your spreadsheets, post to social media, send follow-up messages, and even analyze your business metrics without writing a single line of code. The key to code leverage is thinking in systems and processes. Every time you catch yourself doing the same task repeatedly, ask yourself, how can I automate this? What would the perfect system look like? And what tools already exist that could handle this for me? Because the goal isn't just to save time, it's to free your mind for higher-level strategic thinking and complex tasks, while the machines handle the mundane, repetitive processes. Media leverage. Now imagine creating something once and having it work for you indefinitely, reaching new audiences, building your reputation, your brand, and generating opportunities months or even years after you first published it. This is media leverage, where your ideas become assets that compound in value over time without requiring your physical presence. Media leverage works by capturing your knowledge, insights, and personality in formats that can be consumed by unlimited numbers of people simultaneously. When you write an article that helps someone solve a problem, that article continues helping people and building your credibility long after you've moved on to other projects. When you create a video explaining a complex concept, that video becomes a 24/7 sales representative that introduces you to potential customers, partners, and opportunities while you're focused on other things. The power multiplies when you understand that media leverage isn't just about creating content. It's about building systems that turn your expertise into discoverable, shareable, and valuable assets. Your newsletter becomes a direct line to your audience's attention. Your podcast positions you as an authority in your field. Your YouTube channel becomes a searchable library of solutions that attracts exactly the right people to your business. It's a magical thing when your media starts working together. Someone discovers your YouTube video, subscribes to your newsletter, shares your article, and suddenly you're not just creating content. You're building a media ecosystem that consistently attracts opportunities, builds relationships, and generates value indefinitely without requiring your constant attention. Capital leverage. Think about the difference between saving money and investing money. Saving preserves value, but investing multiplies it. And capital leverage is about using money strategically to accelerate growth, access resources, and create efficiency that would be impossible through labor alone, turning financial resources into exponential returns rather than linear exchanges. Capital leverage works by deploying money in ways that generate more money. When you invest in real estate, the property appreciates while generating rental income. When you buy stocks in growing companies, you participate in their success without doing any of the work. When you acquire a profitable business, you instantly access their customers, systems, and cash flow, essentially buying years of effort and expertise in a single transaction. But capital leverage isn't just about traditional investing. It's about using money to buy time, attention, and results. When you spend money on advertising, you're buying access to audiences that would take months or years to build organically. When you invest in better tools and systems, you're buying efficiency that multiplies your team's output. When you hire specialists, you're buying expertise that would take years to develop internally. To put it simply, capital leverage is the strategic use of money as a tool for multiplication and amplification. Because when used correctly and strategically, capital doesn't just buy things, it buys capabilities, relationships, and opportunities that compound far beyond the initial investment, turning financial resources into sustainable competitive advantages. People leverage. Imagine being able to multiply your capabilities by empowering others to think, decide, and execute on your behalf. This is people leverage, where you transform from doing everything yourself to orchestrating a team of capable individuals who can solve problems, make decisions, and deliver results without requiring your constant supervision or input. People leverage works by developing others to the point where they can operate independently while staying aligned with your vision and standards. It's not just about assigning tasks, it's about transferring knowledge, teaching decision-making frameworks, and creating systems that allow people to solve new problems using principles you've established, essentially cloning your thinking and judgment across multiple people. The transformation happens when you shift from being a doer to being an enabler. Instead of writing every email yourself, you teach someone your communication style and decision criteria so they can handle correspondence independently. Instead of attending every meeting, you develop team members who can represent your perspective and make decisions within defined parameters. Instead of solving every problem personally, you create frameworks that help others solve similar problems consistently. The ultimate goal of people leverage is to build a team where the collective intelligence and capability far exceeds what you could achieve individually. Where team members not only execute your vision, but improve upon it, contribute their own insights, and take ownership of outcomes.
Platform leverage.
Why build an audience from zero when you can tap into platforms where millions of people are already spending their time and attention? Platform leverage is about using existing ecosystems to reach massive audiences, access established infrastructure, and scale faster than would ever be possible building everything from scratch. Platform leverage works by plugging into systems that other companies have spent billions of dollars and decades building. When you sell products on Amazon, you're accessing their logistics network, customer trust, and discovery algorithms. When you build an audience on LinkedIn, you're leveraging their professional network and recommendation systems. When you create content on YouTube, you're using their global distribution infrastructure and monetization tools. The power multiplies when you understand how platforms create network effects. The more users a platform has, the more valuable it becomes for everyone using it. You directly benefit from these platforms that created ecosystems and infrastructure that took years and billions of dollars. The key insight is that platforms want you to succeed because your success makes their platform more valuable. YouTube promotes videos that keep people watching. Amazon highlights products that satisfy customers. LinkedIn amplifies content that generates engagement. So when you create value that aligns with platform incentives, you're not fighting against the system. You're using its momentum to accelerate your own growth in ways that would be impossible to achieve independently.
Community leverage.
Imagine having thousands of passionate people who voluntarily contribute their time, ideas, and energy to help you build something bigger than any individual could create alone. This is community leverage, where you activate aligned groups to co-create momentum, solve problems, and generate value that benefits everyone involved while dramatically amplifying your impact. Community leverage works by creating environments where people with shared interests or goals naturally want to participate, contribute, and help each other succeed. When you build a community around your expertise or industry, you're not just gaining followers, you're creating a network of advocates who share knowledge, provide feedback, generate ideas, and spread awareness organically because they genuinely care about the mission. The magic happens when a community becomes self-sustaining, where members start solving problems for each other, answering questions, creating content, sharing strategies, their experiences, and building relationships. It reduces the burden on you while increasing the value for everyone. The ultimate expression of community leverage is when your community starts creating value independently of your direct involvement. When members organize their own events, create complementary products, build tools that enhance your platform or product, and attract new members through their own networks. You've transformed from being a content creator or business owner into a catalyst for a movement that grows and evolves based on collective energy and shared vision, creating impact that scales far beyond individual capabilities.
Systems leverage.
Picture running a business where every important process is documented, standardized, and optimized, so that results are predictable regardless of who executes the work. This is systems leverage, where you build processes that reduce friction, eliminate errors, and decrease dependency on individual decision-making, creating consistency and efficiency that scales beautifully as you grow. Systems leverage works by capturing best practices and decision-making logic into repeatable processes that anyone can follow to achieve consistent results. Instead of relying on individual expertise or hoping people remember the right steps, you create frameworks that guide behavior, checklists that ensure completeness, and workflows that automatically move projects forward without constant management intervention. The transformation happens when you shift from managing people to managing systems. Instead of telling someone exactly what to do in every situation, you create decision-making frameworks that help them choose the right approach independently. Instead of hoping important steps don't get missed, you build checklists and automation that make oversight unnecessary. Instead of wondering how things are going, you create dashboards that provide real-time visibility into performance and progress. The ultimate goal of systems leverage is to build organizational intelligence that persists and improves over time, regardless of personnel changes. When someone discovers a better way to handle customer complaints, that knowledge gets incorporated into the system and benefits every future interaction. When a project runs smoothly, the processes that made it successful become templates for future projects. You're not just running a business, you're engineering a self-improving machine where every mistake becomes permanent wisdom, every success becomes a replicable template, and organizational intelligence compounds exponentially with each iteration. Insight leverage. Imagine having such deep intuitive understanding that you can see opportunities hiding in plain sight, predict customer behavior before they even know it themselves, and make strategic moves that seem obvious in hindsight, but were invisible to everyone else in the moment. This is insight leverage, where your unique perspective and pattern recognition become your ultimate competitive advantage. Insight leverage works by developing an almost supernatural ability to synthesize information, experience, and intuition into actionable understanding that others simply can't access. When you have true insight into your market, you don't just know what your customers want, you understand why they want it, what they'll want next, and what they don't even realize they need yet. This allows you to create solutions and position yourself advantageously before it becomes obvious. The magic happens when you start seeing patterns that span across industries, time periods, and human behavior. Maybe you notice that every successful product launch follows a specific emotional arc. Maybe you recognize that market cycles repeat with predictable psychological triggers. Maybe you understand that certain types of people always respond to specific approaches even when conventional wisdom says otherwise. These insights become your secret weapon for decision-making. The ultimate expression of insight leverage is when your way of seeing the world becomes so valuable that it shapes how entire industries think and operate. You don't just predict trends, you create them. You don't just spot opportunities, you define what opportunities look like. Your insights become the lens through which others evaluate their own decisions, transforming you from a participant in your market into an architect of its future direction.